Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert Osoro. Remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
Yes. So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power in the name of Jesus to break every chain, break every chain. Break every chain. Break every chain. Let's say it together. There is power. Come on.
Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert Osoro. Remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
Yes. So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power in the name of Jesus to break every chain, break every chain, break every chain. Break every chain. Let's say it together. There is power. Come on.
A very, very good morning on this Wednesday. Remember, this is Dr. Robert Osoro at ROMI TV Africa on Wednesday newspaper review and politics. There is a lot starting. A new chapter has started again in the nation of Kenya. We have a new president in the office. We have an energetic person, a work alcoholic. I don't know what is this that which we are going to call it, but I want to assure you that we have started a new journey, counting from the first day to the 5 years from now. What is this that which you have in place you are setting yourself to be doing? Politics has come to an end. We are starting a new journey for the work. And this is Dr. Robert Osoro at ROMI TV Africa. I'm not alone in studio, but I have my colleague that we are going to discuss much more on politics. And he's here with me.
Yes.
My colleague is Collins Ochieng.
Yeah.
Karibu kwenye set baba.
Asante sana.
Iko namna gani?
Niko fresh kabisa.
Naweza ongelesha watu pale.
Yes, good morning everyone from wherever you're watching us from. My name is Collins Ochieng. You can follow me on my social media platform as follows. On Instagram and Twitter is at Collins_KE. While on Facebook is at Mark Collins Ochieng. So please follow us on the program as we are going to give you insights and break over the ceiling to give you what has happened in the headlines today.
Remember, it's only at ROMI TV Africa, Dr. Robert Osoro, on all of our social media platforms. Keep liking, keep subscribing, keep telling us where you are watching us from. Mr. Collins.
Yes.
There is a lot that which has happened between yesterday and today.
Yeah.
You see, we saw a new president in the office,
yeah.
And this guy, none other than His Excellency, Honorable Dr. William Samoei Ruto. He got to the office yesterday, and already he has started working. You saw he has already reverted back the Mombasa port.
Yes.
The guy already yesterday has appointed the 6 churches. What is your talk on that?
I think Ruto is started to do work on a very, very remarkable way, or he has started to speed up the rate of which is going to work. So I think it's a good thing for him, and we want to congratulate him so much for that speed. So because yesterday was a swearing-in ceremony, where we expected maybe it was, or the previous regime that we've been able to see, is that during that swearing-in, maybe it's just a session of celebration, congratulations, maybe having parties and such kind of stuff. But with him, we were able to see that he's a man of action, nikusema na kutenda. So yesterday, from his speech that he read at the podium in KCC, whatever he said is that he came into office and signed the document. So I think I would like to congratulate him, and I think he has started to fast track the records that he promised that he was going to do. So it's a good thing for him, and I would like to encourage him to continue because of that, we are going to propel this country to another level in terms of work. Yes.
Does it mean that this guy is already set and prepared for the work?
Yes, he's ready, set and prepared for the work, because considering the time that they left KICC, remember, he just reached State House and went ahead to appoint the nominated judges, whereby there was a document that was signed. We also saw the issue to do with the report, the operations being reverted back to Mombasa from where they were in Naivasha. So that one shows you that he's a man in action, he's a man in control, he's a man who is going to be committed to ensure that whatever he promised the Kenyans, he's going to fulfill. So he's a man of fulfilling his promise.
This and much more, it's only at ROMI TV Africa, Dr.Robert Osoro on all of our social media platforms. Remember, we are starting with our standard today. It reads in our first page, Village Boy takes over as Kenya 50 president of the Republic of Kenya. In the downwritings, he says millions of Kenyans watched the chief registrar of the judiciary, Ann Amadi, administer the oath of office to Ruto and his deputy Rigathi Gachagua at the Kasarani Stadium. Baba,
Yes.
we saw yesterday when Ruto was taking an oath, and as the standard is talking about the village boy, people were saying that when we were listening even from other media houses, when they were talking about that the village boy has become the president. And then people were saying that even the late Jaramogi Oginga Odinga was nobody's son. People were saying that even Jomo Kenyatta was nobody's son. So even Ruto is bringing him his empire. But what's your talk on that?
I think the talk is just a matter of as in profiling Ruto as someone who is a beacon of hope, or as someone who has been able to go against all odds and rise from one level to another. Remember, this is a position that when you look at the current political history of various leaders who have been in a position to be the deputy, the vice president, it's not always easy for one to just come out of the office of the deputy president, even after serving for 10 years, and then rise into the position of president. So we've seen that Ruto, despite all the malice or all the accusations that were put in him, despite the blackmails and the intimidation, is someone that we can say that he was a hard-working person. He was very humble, and because of also focusedness and ambition, he was able to go for this seat because he was ready to eat, but he was ready to take that office. And even as yesterday, when we saw him reverting the port operations to Mombasa and appointing the 6 judges, it shows you that he's a leader who has been able to show us that everything is possible, that nothing is impossible in this world. You can be able to achieve something as long as you are dedicated, you are focused, you are ambitious, and you put God ahead of everything. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Guys, this is ROMI TV Africa with Dr. Robert. Also remember, we are bringing you newspaper review this morning, as we will also talking more about politics. But With that, we are going for a short break. But after this short break, we are coming back and there's more that we will be bringing to you. Keep watching, keep tuned, keep telling us where you are watching us from. Coming back to you after this short break. All right, welcome once again to Desmond Show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert Osoro. Remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah. There is power in the name of Jesus. There is power in the name of Jesus to break every chain, break every chain, break every chain. Break every chain. Let's say it together. There is power.
All right, welcome once again to Desmond Show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert Osoro. Remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
All right, welcome once again to Desmond Show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert Osoro. Remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
All right, guys, as I promised you earlier, welcome back once again after this short break. Remember, it's Dr. Robert Osoro, it's ROMI TV Africa, bringing you the newspaper review on Wednesday. Also at politics, talking this morning about the new president in the office, what new for us in the next 5 years. Today is the second day of our president, William Samoei Ruto. We must get used with that name. Yesterday, even Mwandawiro, is it Mwandawiro? He was saying, the president sorry guys, you see, this has brought me back for yesterday. Why there was a lot was happening yesterday, coming from Gashawa. No, we will go there. Coming from Ruto, sorry guys, you know those gadgets nowadays we use which I attach. I think Ruto is a man who is not used with such a kind of gadgets. Is a man used to give a speech naturally. But that and much more, don't get out of the set. That is what we shall be speaking next. But we are going to the next story. President Ruto gives police control over Iris money. Ruto has come with speed. Is this speed going to be there, or is something that which is going to be in a moment, then it's going to end? We have seen saying about Ruto take control of police. President Ruto gives police control over its money. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I think Ruto was decided to take that initiative because we've seen in the previous regime, the outgoing government, that the money that National Police Service were being given by the executive, you would find that the president would use that platform to weaponize the National Police Service, whereby maybe if leaders they were allied to the political camp that the president was supporting, so they will be doing the opposite thing to the other camp. Let's take, for instance, in terms of security, there was a time the president, deputy president, was crying about the issue of police. You remember even the they changed the security system at the Nini. So he was saying that the national government should look at the way of breaking the powers, dividing the powers, in that the National Police Service, they can just operate as an independent institution, have their own money, let them not rely on the executive, so that they can be used as targets to target other people, because those people, they are not aligned to them. So I think this is just a way of trying to create independence of National Police so that it can be able to operate on its own and be able to give the mantle out, be able to provide the task which they are supposed to do according to the Constitution. But if they rely from the executive, then the executive will be paying them, but there will be things that they will be using them to frustrate other people. Like they will be used, it will be like a weapon. They are being used to target other people, to intimidate other people, and such kind of stuff. So this one they'll be behaving in a fair manner. Yes.
So, in other words, what Ruto is doing is trying to take control, so that, because there's a man also, they say that it's going to add some percentage back to the counties, and he was urging the counties to be ready to work with him so that more resources can go direct to the counties, which something is not contrary with what the honorable the Prime Minister and the current outgoing, or the current former President of the Republic of Kenya, Muigai Kenyatta, what they were doing for Katiba. You know, they were bringing in the, what do we call it? The one route which opposed. They were saying that it goes to the constitution.
One man shilling, one man vote.
Yeah. So he said that now he wants the money to go back to the counties, if the counties governors are going to work with him. Also, we see Central Bank. Also, there's a second story says that Ruto pushes CPK to implement rule on transactions above 1 million shillings.
I think Ruto has seen the way corruption is being is taking center stage in this country. Remember, just this year we've seen so many officials, so many public servants who are working in some of these government institutions, like the Treasury, where maybe someone is earning a basic salary of maybe 40,000 or 40,000 shillings, sorry. But later on, you find that in one of his accounts he has 5 million. So when you calculate, you wonder maybe where did that money come from. Because if you calculate it annually, it doesn't sum up, or it doesn't add up. So this that push of forcing CBK to implement rule on transaction above 1 million is just a way of sealing the loopholes of corruption.
That still the banks nowadays, when you do a transaction of more than 1 million, they have been asking, because I personally have done that, and asking where did you get the money from and all. Is it that they were doing it without the rule being implemented, or what has been happening around?
I think so. Maybe they were doing without the rule being implemented, because we've still seen, we can still cite various cases where we've seen such kind of victims of such kind of people. And I've given you an example of that one of someone who is working at National Treasury, and his salary was 40,000. Yes.
All right, guys, remember this ROMI TV Africa with your host, Dr.Robert, Osoro, and Collins Ochieng. We're talking about the newspaper review this morning on the Standard. Our next story is Ruto, the promise that ended on a sore note. And we saw yesterday guys shaking each other. What's your say?
They had to shake hands because it was at that moment, or it was at an event that it was compulsory for them to do so. But if there was an option where the outgoing president would have maybe, or it was not supposed for him to come up, then they would not have shook hands. Because remember, even after the event was over, the president was invited to State House for a lunch, but he skipped. Yeah, he did not show up. So that one can indicate, it can indicate to you that the president is still he's still not satisfied. He was not contented with the outcome of the results. The person he was trying to campaign for, or the person he wanted, never made it. So it can show you that the president, even though yes, the ceremony was supposed to be conducted the way the constitution is, and did not want to embarrass himself, but it still shows you that the president has not received it from deep inside his heart to accept Ruto as the president. He just had to do it because it's a ritual it's like a ritual that you have to perform during the swearing-in ceremony. But Ruto was not his man.
But
Yeah.
I think people are saying maybe Uhuru prayed Raila. These guys, they were together and all. What's your thought on that?
I think people will have to say what they think they have to say. But maybe with that one, we can give it some time from what the opposition will say. But at the moment, we can be able to read, we can be able to see the signs, the red flags that Uhuru has been showing. Remember, even after election, he went silent for a very long time.
But
the media was looking for him.
Congratulated him.
Yes, he just had to congratulate him because it was a moment. It was just a force, yeah. But I've told you that if there was another option or another alternative, maybe the president would not do so.
Okay.
Yes.
We are also seeing the next story state subsidies to go as President Ruto confronts price hikes headache. You see, we saw yesterday when Ruto was giving his statement, what he said is that number one, within the coming weeks, okay, there are some things that which the president was specific, and there's some things that which was in the coming weeks. That means in the coming weeks there must be negotiation between the president and the stakeholders.
Yeah.
But there were specific things, like he said that the fertilizers by next week they should be down by 3,500 from 6,000 per bag of 50 kg, and also he was saying at the same time that the some prices actually was lowering because he said about the prices of the fertilizer. It says they say the unga is going also to come down, but I did not hear the president talking about the petrol. But he said that he will make a communication and he will make a chat with the people that were concerned. But we are seeing of the same things that which the former president, the current former president of the Republic of Kenya talked about. Because there's a number of things that you used to say that let unga to be this price, let this to be in this price, but we never saw the prices changing. But at this era, as we wind up this standard to go to the next newspaper, Ruto got to the office and immediately he said that those prices must be go down. We have seen an era of more. Yes, people may say that there's a way more used to do in terms of if he said this should be done and all the leadership. But I think, what do you think? Is it that Ruto is doing from a positive side? Because when we look at what's happening with him here, more used to say if it's the price of the products in the shops that should go down in terms of prices. Those were the 90s. When I remember those days we were in primary school. And immediately we send his officers to the shops. They pretend that they are buying. And if they find you that you are still selling the hold price because maybe the stock you have has not been sold, you will be in for it. What is your take on that which the president which was saying yesterday?
I think looking at this year, there's been a very perennial hunger in terms of the harvest. Remember this year alone, the global warming, it's something that has affected us for a very long time, not only in Nairobi, but various countries in Africa. So farmers were confused in terms of planting, and even others, when they planted, the plants had to perish because of lack of rainfall. So this is something that led to a lack of supply. You know, when you talk about food or food crops or cash crops, we always apply that law of demand and supply. So when there's high demand and there's high supply, then there will be an equilibrium curve. But looking at this context, whereby we've been able to consume more, but we produce less. And the production of less has been brought by lack of rainfall, the persistent drought. And also at the same time, we had that Gulana Kalalu project was it in Malindo, Tana River? And unfortunately, it did not work because of corruption. Yeah, so you find that feeding this country has been a challenge. We've tried to import maize, but they sell to us at a very, very higher price. So buying them, considering those sanctions, so these sellers also, they have to get a profit. And maybe there's no subsidies in terms of imports that are coming. So that is why the president saw that the the cause of this unga, for the price to inflate or for the price to increase, we have to deal with this with the fertilizers, because also at the moment the farmers are buying the fertilizers at a very higher cost. So you expect them that when they get the produce, they will also retaliate, or they will sell it at a higher price to get profit. So fertilizer has to be reduced so that the farmers can buy it on a cheaper price. So during plantation, they can use that fertilizer. And you know, fertilizer is used during plantation to boost the breed of the crop, or to make the crop to have a high harvest. So dealing with it alone will be able to at least reduce the prices of maize flour. We'll be able to get a lot of grains. We'll be able to harvest and store them, and then people will be able to cope up with life. Because Kenya, our staple food is ugali, and we are also maize crop is the backbone of our country. So putting a policy like reducing the price of the fertilizer or giving that subsidy will be able to curb the issue of hunger, and we'll be able to harvest more. Yes, so it's a good initiative.
Okay, guys, we are going for a short break, but after this short break, we're coming back. Much more is coming to you. As we come back, we're going to look at the nation. Daily Nation Day. So don't dial, keep watching, keep subscribing, keep telling us where you're watching us from. But this is ROMI TV Africa, Dr.Robert with my colleague also here.
Yes.
So keep on following us on our social media platforms. We're coming back after the show. All right, welcome once again to Desmond Show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert Osoro. Remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
All right, welcome once again to Desmond Show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert Osoro. Remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back once again. Remember, this is only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro at Ochieng. So this is where you get a newspaper review every Monday to Friday, when we meet also on Monday and Friday for political gang, talking about politics. This is home of King Pope's Alive. We are going to our nation today, and in picture is William Ruto swearing in at Kasarani, President-elect. And this is what it reads. Zamkenya Kwanza readers include National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula and a Senate counterpart Amazon King at Kasarani Stadium on September 13, 2022 during William Ruto's inauguration. In picture, I'm also seeing, I don't know why they have not said, I've seen Mutua, Alfred, the man who has been successful all throughout his life, has never been out of the government. And also I'm seeing the former speaker. Is it the speaker, Ndwari?
Majority leader.
The majority leader, the former,
National Assembly.
in the 12th parliament. Yeah. So in picture, what they're trying to say, these guys, I see one of the guy who has been lacked, because Moses Wetangula has been with Kenya Kwanza from the beginning. Of course, it was not such from the beginning, but at least in the middle. But one of the man that who was so lucky is King. You know, this man came in less than a month, and the guy cringed to the position of to the position of a speaker in the Senate. What's your say on that?
It was just a matter of weighing, or a matter of calculation. Because even Dr. Alfred Mutua, they were in Azimio.
Yeah.
But later on, after Kalonzo joined as Azimio la Umoja, so we saw Alfred Mutua walking out, citing that they are not consoled. They don't feel like part and parcel of Azimio. There's issue to do with zoning. They are not consulted. They are being told that the candidates, there's some area that they will not feel candidates, so they're being taken as inferior parties. So that is one of the reasons that made Maendeleo Chap leader to walk out of Azimio la Umoja and join Kenya Kwanza, the last meet. But even with that, you remember they had signed some documents that
With the One Kenya.
With Azimio la Umoja, One Kenya Alliance. But we know politicians are for themselves, so even after breaching, there is nowhere you will be able to take them. Because the register of political parties, that is Anderitu, was saying that they were breaching the contract. It was unlawful for them to do that. But we understand that this is politics, and the politicians, they always have their powers. If it was from Wananchi, then an action would be taken. So I think it was just a good move, where they went, they were able to ascend into power, which is something good. We've now been able to the Speaker of the Senate, that is Amason Kingi, having been elected on the floor. We've now been able to, media has been able to give him a limelight from how he started. Remember, he ventured into politics in 2007. In
203.
Where he vied for a member of parliament once, and then later on he went for governor. So this is something good.
But he was the government spokesperson
from 203. No, I'm talking about Amason Kingi.
Oh yeah.
He just vied for an MP for once, then went for a governor, and he served for 2 terms. So it's just a good thing to indicate to people that everything is possible, as long as you are focused, as long as you have good plans, and when you do that, then there's nothing that will hinder you from prospering or from reaching where you wanted. Same to also Alfred Mutua. He has been having, I can say that when you look at his political future, he has been having good political features, that whereby where he has always been has never been in opposition. So it shows you that this is someone who is always informed. This is someone who always has good advisors. This is someone who is focused or is ambitious. So the decision he takes is something that always leads him to a better place. So it's something good. And for me, I will just say congratulations to them. As per now, we don't want to look at that one, their political oblivion. All we want to focus is about the jobs they are going to do, the capacity they are going to serve, the position they are going to be given. Are they going to deliver? Yeah, because Amason Kingi was a governor. Right now he's a speaker. For Alfred Mutua, we don't know the docket they're going to appoint him, but we just want to see him deliver like the way he says in his party, Maendeleo Chap. Let him bring Maendeleo to us, Wananchi. Yeah. Okay. Regardless of whom we voted for. For now, the president is supposed to serve us, all of us, regardless of where we cast our votes. Yes.
Okay. We are also seeing on the same nation, most of the stories are related, but
yes.
Let's look at this one. President William Ruto, here are my pledges to you as I take over. Ruto was giving a number of pledges starting from IPC, and here is a President William Ruto moved swiftly to capitalize on the momentum of his victory by honoring elections pledges to appointment of 6 judges blocked by his predecessors, assigning an independent assigning to the independent budget for police and provisionals of the cheap fertilizers. Also, in speech following its swearing in the country's 50th president yesterday, he also promises immediate public participation to decide the fate of the competence-based curriculum CPC, and committed to implement the Osoro Fund, a key plank of his campaign that won him the support of small-scale traders. he was saying that by next week they are going to set aside the suggestion box where the Kenyans are going to be participating in terms of CPC. What's your take? Because they were giving, like in social media, what has been moving around, that either CPC remain or improves it, or to be abolished. So what's your take on that?
Personally, I feel like the country was not prepared for the CBC curriculum. We were just trying to force it on people. But unfortunately, now we just have to embrace, because we have our siblings or our brothers and sisters who already, they've already started the journey. So I think they just need a proper framework. They need a proper consultation, proper guidance from experts on how we are going to implement it, how it's to be done. You know, the problem with us Africans, we like to copy so much from the West.
From the West.
Yeah, but even looking at our curriculum or looking at our education system, you will find that we produce most competent people, we produce most educated, learned people. In Africa, I think Kenya is number one. That is why you, when you go to, when you come here to Nairobi,
but I think what
people are flooding to our universities. Look at Nazarene, we have Congolese. Look at Catholic, we have Tanzanians. But the problem with us, we don't believe in ourselves. We always like to.
And I think we are trying to be like, feeling like we have let down by the like US countries and all, because every time, like I remember my first time going to US to work, they have to take you that you have to do a course, whether it's a certificate or whatever, and this is the time that I'm going to do for my master's, but they take you back so that you can get their systems. And number two, in US you realize that their system is almost of CPC because of tertiary and all the kind of names they call, and that's why you see even in Kenyans you have the schools that which are using that curriculum, like GCE and whatever the curriculum. But when we talk about like the CPC, I think what they were trying to bring up, when they talked about the colleges, you know, we have a lot of students that go, maybe finally got like these, but they cannot get a chance to go to the universities. That's why they brought up the new system, so that we can get people with competence, professionalism and competence. Because we have been also having students that who are wise, who are clever, who are passed well the exams, but they cannot do the practical works. And that's why they saw that it's good to take our children back to the CPC. But one thing I think they're doing is that these people, all the government, before they take a step, they are not considering a number of things. For instance, our fathers, during our it was we are far much ahead of other African countries. What's your take on that?
Personally, I feel like we are far ahead in terms of education as far as the continent of Africa is concerned. Because the education system that is there, we produce people who are competent. I know you talked about grades, but we were able to see that so far there has been devolution in terms of whereby so many institutions, there has been mushrooming of so many, the coming up of so many institutions. This is the TVET training, training institution where people who scored maybe C- and below, they can go and do these practical courses like plumbing, electrical, etc., and also be able to fit in the society. So it's not a must that you have to get a good job, a good grade in order to do maybe an office work. You can as well get just a pass grade and then still be beneficial to the society. So I think this increase of this institution is something that has been able to absorb those people who never excelled in the exams. So as for me, I don't think, personally, I don't feel if CBC is necessary, because first of all, it needs a lot of capital. Number two, in terms of resources, I've been always seeing on social media how students, some of these small kids, that they are taught how to swim. Imagine they just place a sack, a gunia, and then the children.
I think we don't have enough resources.
Yes, that's why I was telling you, the capital and resources.
We need first to implement them and to invest in them.
Imagine. So they are told to they're taught how to swim. So how will the kid be able to know how to swim? Surely, and you're swimming on the
I'm telling
floor,
you
on the
guys,
soil.
all these are coming you cutters of ROMI TV Africa with your host, Dr. Robert and the calling so check.
Yes.
Yeah, here live bringing you all this.
So we need.
After we come, I know you have something that you want to say.
Yes, I was saying that. So we need capital to set up these schools, and also we need a lot of resources like those swimming pools, like even other things besides even swimming. Just other things that the students are supposed to do in terms of practical, which we don't have at the moment. Remember, even countrywide, there are some places that it's always drought. Where will they get the source of water with these CBCs so that you can be able to put in place a swimming pool?
That it can work.
Yes, so that it can work well. You
I
see,
understand
yeah,
where you are coming from, but
yes,
we're going for a short break. But after this, we're coming back, guys. And when we come back, we'll be talking about the politics, the promise that which is Excellence Doctor, the Commander-in-Chief, the man himself, Mr. Peel Turejo, the first lady. He promised. You know, remember 2013 when they gave about the stadiums, the whatever, the raptor. Yesterday did. Is it the same? That is what we're going to talk. I'm telling you, it's going to be fire. Don't touch that dial. Keep watching, keep commenting. Tell us where you're watching us from. As we come back, we shall be venturing into politics. We are here. See you after this short break. All right. Welcome once again to Desmond Show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also, remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
All right, welcome once again to Desmond Show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also, remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
All right, welcome back once again, guys, at ROMI TV Africa. Remember, we are talking about the politics. A new chapter has been opened in our country. There's a lot of promises that we have given when we were going for a short break. I just talked about His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto. He had given promises yesterday that which I was reading, including a IPC, including the 6 churches, including many things, and the prices to be gone down. But we saw 2013 when they got in with the President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency, the former President, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. They gave a number of promises that which were not able to be accomplished. But again, we appreciate for the work that which they did in their last tenure of 10 years that which ended yesterday. We have now crust roads, and actually they are the best roads in East and Central Africa. Also, they did of their power, connectivity, and many other things. Of course, I know Kenyans cannot appreciate everything, but one thing that which I want to let you know that nobody will ever be appreciated. So we wish a good farewell to the current already the former President of the Republic of Kenya, that is Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, as we welcome the new President of Kenya now, William Ruto. That what they have done for the last 10 years, it was excellent. Of course, Kenyans have moved very far compared to the other countries. I've been in Dubai for a number of times. I've been in Qatar. I've been in Saudi Arabia. I've been actually in Middle East countries. I've also worked there. When I compare, Dubai has been the country that which has been in the standard compared to US. But also when you go to places like in Saudi Arabia, those roads, when you are passing them, of course in Kama Changwa, it's not a bad place, but they are also improving. And when I was last time in Qatar, they are also improving such a roads. But I think Kenyans have built a number of roads that which are up to standard at the moment. So many people did not appreciate the Mombasa road, which actually is compared to Thika road, that its standard is higher than Thika road. But still the charm is high. What is it? Is it that Kenyans are buying cars every day?
Yes, Kenyans are buying cars every day because when you expand a road, or what do you expect? What is the purpose of the highway? The purpose of the highway is to serve people in terms of movement of goods, movements of people, movements of students to school. So with easing that congestion, Kenyans and maybe the money, because even right now, nowadays, even cars, you can own them through loans. It's not like before, so you just
But I think there's something that which Kenyans have done, that you cannot bring a car that which is less than 2 or 3 to Kenya. There's a number like, compared to Uganda and Tanzania, that you can bring a car. The make year is 1990, 1994.
For that one, I don't know, but I just know that that issue of car can be serviced or they can be paid through loan. It's also something that has made a lot of Kenyans to go and buy. Yeah, the increase of cars. Yes. So, and also,
is it that this morning when we were coming, there was a lot of jam on the roads, and there has not been cars on the road. There has not been that much jam. Is it that people have a lot of trust in the president that was taken the office of the economy, lowering of the prices and things, because people have been putting their cars in the house, including me, because of the fuel? Do you think that we have a new hope?
Yes, we have a new hope because this is something that I used to echo back during his campaigns. And I think less than 2 weeks or 1 week, it will be able to be implemented in terms of maybe reducing the taxes that have been placed on in terms of the petrol, so that the price can go low, and the moment it goes low, even these other basic commodities, their prices will go low. And also, at the moment, I also feel like, elections here in Kenya, they always create fear, they always create tension, animosity. So after the Supreme Court upheld his election, then he was sworn in, so things have now gone back to normal. Now, people can now breathe that sigh of relief, because politics to us here in Kenya is always something of a do or a die. It's something that tunaika kwa roho sana badala ya kuweka kwa kifua. So watu wameona ameapishwa, so there's nothing else the opposition can do, even though they did not agree with the Supreme Court's verdict, but Kenya has to move on.
Now,
that's why things have gotten.
Looking at randomly of what has been happening, we saw Chipukizi yesterday. He had a very good opportunity inviting all the entertainment team and all. He had an opportunity.
Yes.
What do you think when we talk about the Osoro nation? Do you think that this young generation, the musicians, artists, have gotten a very nice opportunity? Because I'm seeing, you see that there is a sign that Chipukizi might be, he has been given opportunity by the government, of course. Is it that this guy might get an opportunity to keep serving the government?
Yes, he can still serve in the government, because even in the outgoing regime, he was appointed as Nakada boss to do with the issues to do with drugs in terms of youth. Yeah.
After Kigeugeu.
Yeah, after Kigeugeu. So they have seen that he has that potential. MP. Yeah, he has that potential. He's capable of serving well. So Ruto's government is also giving platform to the young people. Yeah, so that they can be able to mentor other people. They can be an inspiration to them, and they can bring them to the right side where they're supposed to be well people of sound mind, people who can reason well, people who can contribute to economic building of this country in terms of task force and manpower.
There is something that we saw. Ruto said yesterday that it's going to look at IPC, going to look at KRA. So they should not. He said, let be our responsibility, but it should not be pushing people. KRA should not be pushing people. There's a name, Canada What's Rising, he says. Okay. The way it has been doing, and I think this came from the women rep. Is it the senator or women rep of
Nakuru, Susan
No,
Nani?
The one KRA was
Karanja, Tabitha Karanja. Yes, Tabitha Karanja.
What has made Ruto to see that KRA is not fair.
Yeah.
Do you think that what Ruto is promising is going to work?
Yes, it's going to work, because right now the instruments of power have been handed over to him. So there's nothing that can hinder him from executing what he wants.
Ruto is doing all this to prove the nation that he was the right person, the rightful person to the position, that is his passion?
I think that is just his passion, because we also have some people who are the right people to run this country, but it's just unfortunate that they were not able to win the presidency. So I think it's just a matter of passionate. It's something that he was yearning for. It's something that he was eager for. It's something that he's doing from the bottom of his heart, soul, mind, and thought. So he has Kenyans' interest at heart.
Do you think there's a difference between, because people said yesterday that they are going to launch what you call the Osoro
Initiative Fund.
And
Yes.
also we have been having the youth fund.
Yeah.
And many youths have been complaining that they have not been able to find
Access.
them,
Yeah.
to access them.
Yeah.
What do you think?
It's a good thing to, as far as the wanyonge ama the lower wananchi is concerned, because that fund is going to finance him in terms of starting a business or expanding the business. So it's something good, because even that youth fund that was there, I don't think if they put in place a framework so that people could access, because as far as the outgoing regime is concerned, there's no colleague of mine, or there's no relative of mine, or there's no friend of mine who has been able to tell me that he was able to access that youth fund. So I think it was just a handout that was being given. But for this household fund, because he has been repeating, saying all over for purposes of emphasizing, we are here to live, we are here to stay, we are here to witness if wananchi, if the youths are going to access it and to see how it's going to improve their lives in terms of starting their own job, becoming self-entrepreneurs.
Okay. We
Yes.
saw yesterday Raila and his daughter
Yeah.
in US
In US.
when they posted a picture
Yes.
during the time that Ruto was getting power. Let's say, use that word.
Yeah.
If it can be a good word to be used also. At
Yes.
the same time, we saw Mother Karua, the gold plan.
Yeah.
What that brings to you, is it that Kenya has not matured in terms of conflict, or because they are not in agreement of him? What do you think?
I think because they had a how do I say, a bitter pill to swallow.
So, they
So
have
for
to-
them, yeah, so they have to decide to engage in other things.
You know, Ruto is a man that sometimes you want to get to engage to you. He sent a letter to His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga, invited him for his inauguration,
Yeah.
and also at the same time, Raila responded the reasons. He gave 3 reasons that he could not attend. Number 1, he was out of the country. Number 2, he said that the elections was not free and fair, even though they accepted the decision of the court. And number 3, there's another reason that which he gave.
About the IBC.
The IBC,
Yeah.
so which he did not come. Do you think that what Raila did on your own perspective, it was the right thing?
Okay, for him not to attend the
It's a personal
swearing,
decision.
it's a personal decision
Mhm.
because he feel like the way the person who was being sworn in, the way he ascended to power was not inappropriate thing. So he had the right to walk out, or he had the right to skip the swearing in ceremony of that leader. So, and also remember very well that this was his last bullet. So there's that embarrassment, there's that shamefulness. So for him, maybe going over because he has reiterated that Ruto did not win that election, is the one who won. So would make him feel like maybe he had conceded defeat, and we've seen that he has not. That word has not come from him. He has always been saying that the process was not conducted well. I won, and at the same time, he's going to hold a press briefing to tell his supporters the directions they are going to take in. So that is why he had to skip that swearing in ceremony, because showing up
Do you
shows
think
that he conceded defeat.
Leaving his supporters in an awkward position, let me use that word, that is going to bring this country down again, that people have moved on, people are thinking on how to make the economy to grow, people are thinking on how to, because we have seen that these officers, people are also going there for their personal independent. We had His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, William Samoei Ruto, saying that we need Raila, we need Uhuru, because these are the guys that who have been in the government and they have more. Do you think coming and giving him an opportunity to do it, still their views can be heard?
Yes, their views can be heard, but also at the same time, I can say that because he has not considered defeat till now, maybe he will resort to another alternative. He has something else to do, or maybe he can use other politicians to act in his capacity. Yeah, as he decides to maybe
Opposition
relax.
leader
Yeah,
or whatever.
yeah. In terms of
What of the
opposition
Mother
leader.
Karua also we saw in the golf club?
Is also in the same state. They were with him together. So both of them, they could not agree. Or
What
they
I've
could
not
accept.
realized is it whether Kalonzo came to his swearing in or not.
No, he was not there. He didn't show up. Yes, yeah.
Okay, guys, remember this is ROMI TV Africa with your host, Dr.Robert, Osoro, calling so chill, bringing you this newspaper review on politics here at ROMI TV Africa in every Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Today, due to unavoidable circumstances, we gone out of time. I know that there are more programs that we are coming up, including chat sports, including the Ghost Pub, and also sports. But keep watching, keep commenting, keep telling us where you're watching us from. As we wind up our last bit, we saw yesterday a number of embarrassment that which was happening. We cannot maybe wind up without going there. There were a number of embarrassment that which was happening in the swearing in of the deputy president, Gashawa. A number of time he was going ahead of the swearing in and the words that which was given, and he was doing not contrary to what he was doing. What do you think? It was phobia? It was overjoy? What's your take?
I think Gachagua just rose from DO to the position he has served for a very long time has been a DO. So he went and vied for a Matera MP, won, served for one term, then rose to deputy president. So I think he has not been exposed to podiums like official programs like that one. I'm a platform, or maybe where they were campaigning, they did not, they were even as per now we are laughing or we are talking about Gachagua. Maybe if it was the same to Raila and Karua, maybe the same would happen, would
but
replicate.
We have seen even during his campaign,
I think he was not exposed.
Because even his campaign, he used to make a lot of mistakes until people complained why Ruto is hiding Gachagua like bank.
Yeah.
He could not move with him, but later we saw Gachagua coming out, but a number of time he was saying things which were offside. Until maybe stick to talking about he has been the PA for the president and all. But again, yesterday you saw like many people who have been complaining about him. I tell people it's not about you, it's about people for sometimes. When you're in the public office, people have been complaining about his dress code, about everything. And we saw him in the morning doing gym, and he promised that he's going within the next 3 weeks or a month. So he's going to change the dress code and everything. What's your thoughts?
Yes, but it shows that he has been concerned about what people have been saying about him, or what people have been spilling about him. So he's taking a retreat maybe to better himself in terms of outlook, in terms of health-wise fitness, and also in terms of speech, like that podium. Because I'm trying to imagine maybe in the coming scenarios, or in the scenarios that are coming, there'll be maybe other presidents who will be making interest to our country. Is the deputy president maybe? He's supposed to meet them. He's supposed to address the nation. So those were mistakes, and mistakes are meant for correction. So going forward, and because he rose to another higher position, and maybe they did not brief him. There's something called brief or preparation. You are being told.
People were saying that he was given the Mwakenya, like during the time of debate with the deputy presidents, the ones or the candidates. He removed the Mwakenya. Then yesterday, people were saying that he was just reading Ikram. Now he was going with the cramming, did not know that.
So I think there was no preparation in terms of his team, the media.
They did not do well.
Preparation. So they were supposed to prepare the PR. So they should work on that. They have a workload to do, to perform.
But
in terms
again,
of
we saw yesterday the current president right now, William Samoei Ruto, so he made a lot of mistakes in terms of his speech. Every time was sorry, until people complain that sorry coming too much. And there's a man that has been known for a natural speech when he's making them. What was happening for yesterday?
Yes, as I've told you before, this was a podium and there were guests. So just from the onset, they were just not prepared. And then, maybe someone like him is used to give speech to address people, maybe on just a hard copy, something like that. He just reads and then he tries to elaborate on the points. But now, to read the speech from the
a kind of comparison that
from the mini laptop
that you must be getting the speech.
Personally, I don't know, but like that, that platform is the first one for you, then you are told to read, maybe you auko ume recite nini vitu kama hizo, so that's why he had those errors. Errors.
We wind up, we saw yesterday when the power were given to Ruto, especially the SWOT, the security which has been, or to be precise, how do we call the personal security of Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta? We saw him moving immediately to Ruto, and actually we saw this on 2013 from Mwai Kibaki. What is your take on that, or what is this that which you have learned from that? Because it's after the sword, not even the constitution. After the constitution was given to Ruto, and then the sword, and immediately the security moved to Ruto. I think everything changed because the way he came to the stadium, it was not the same way that he went. Because when he came in, the type of security, yes, he had a lot of convoy, but the security was not as such. But immediately now, he was moving out as a presidential, with a presidential escort.
It was just a change of guard, so to indicate that now is the duly president of the Republic of Kenya. So the outgoing now was leaving, and right now, he was now getting into office. So it was just a matter of change of power, change of guard. That was what it was trying to indicate or trying to show.
Oh,
yes.
Guys, remember this has been ROMI TV Africa in our Wednesday newspaper review on social politics. We are talking about what has been happening. However, we are winding up. But before we wind up, remember we are coming back shortly with the next program. That's Chat Sport and so many programs. So don't touch that dial. Keep watching, keep commenting, keep telling us where you are watching us from. On ROMI TV Africa, Dr.Robert Osoro. Maybe Collins, what's your last word? Maybe you can say of what you have been gathering from the last regime, the new regime now that's getting to the office as we start the new journey. Camera one is your camera.
Personally, I just want us Kenyans to remain peaceful, and I would like us to put these leaders into task to ensure that they deliver what they promised us in terms of ward, in terms of Senate, in terms of county level, in terms of presidency. So let us just push them to the world that they deliver. And I would like to also request the leaders who are elected to ensure that they serve to the core what they promised us, because we want to live a better life. We want to be able to afford that, the cost of living. We want to be able to put the food into table. We want to be able to afford the education and good health and other things. So let's all of us cooperate with one another, and may peace prevail as we wait for these goodies. That's all I have to say. You can follow me on my social media pages as follows. On Instagram and Twitter is at Collins_KE, while on Facebook is at Mark Collins Ochieng. Thank you for watching.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Remember, this has been Newspaper Review and Politics on Wednesday, today on 14th of September, the year 2022, here at ROMI TV Africa. What I can say is that remember that politics comes and politics goes, but your neighbor remains to be your neighbor forever. Your friends remain to be your neighbor. Your parents forever. And remember that not everyone that will be cringing to that position, that every time there must be a reader part-time. At this time, it is William Samoei Ruto. So let's support him, give him the support that which he needs so that he can move this nation and this country ahead. The ideas that we had, we could have been giving or doing them, we can still use other channels to reach him. He has given us an opportunity that he will engage the common Mwananchi, the ASO nation, so that they will be feeling their concerns directly to the government, and they will be rooking them. And I believe that this guy will do it. Is a guy that who is committed to his core. So let's support him. Only at ROMI TV Africa, Dr.Robert Osoro. See you in the next hour. Thank you for watching. Keep watching. Keep subscribing. Keep following us at Dr.Robert Osoro at ROMI TV Africa. See you in the next episode. All right. Welcome once again to Desmond Show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert Osoro. Remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at ROMI TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro.
So my brother, so you say that you had started this